Welcome to the Happy Imbecile. As the name implies, I'm just happy to be here. I don't claim to be an expert at anything or even to be that knowledgeable, but I do like to share what I do learn. And if you learn something, please share it with me. Or if you have any tips on whatever it is I am presenting, please feel free to share. So today we will be talking about this game that is new to me called Settlement Survival. I haven't been playing long, but so far I'm learning as I'm playing. So today's video, we are going to talk about all these little menu items that we have here and what are they for and how they can help with gameplay. So that is the main purpose of this video. Once again, I have not been playing this game long, so there are some things I might gloss over or miss. Please feel free to correct or add in the comments below. So let's start from the very beginning. Actually, let's let the game roll as we discuss so we can see all the little animations and the little people doing the work, working hard. Anyways, the first item that we're going to look at is the resource monitor. So, what does the resource monitor do? It monitors your resources. So, if we look at food, for example, you will have subcategories: raw food, simple food, fancy food. When you click on the raw food, you have different items in here that some you don't have in your city, some you do, and it will give you some information on those items, such as your annual production and your annual consumption. As you can see, I have an issue with my consumption being more than my production. I will have to do something about that. It gives me my total reserves, how much hunger that it satiates, as well as the happiness that it gives to the townspeople, and how can I grow it, where it can grow, etc., and what it can do, etc. And that's the same with all your resources. The next item here is high trees. What does that do? Well, trees go off, trees go on, trees go off, trees come on. Being a huge Homer Simpson fan, I couldn't help but do that. Anyways, I digress. The next item is show map grids. The map grids is for people who are extremely organized, like my wife. And what it will allow you to do is arrange your structures and your roads in an, for lack of a better word, that you can align them so that your city looks pretty and well organized. That is totally not me. I rarely use it. I probably should. Probably make my life so much easier, but that's just not my personality. But it might be yours, so it's a good thing to keep in mind and to use. Next up is your title. When you click on that, it tells you the mode of the city. Right now I'm in standard mode, and the difficulty, so all the options I have on and off, and the levels. But most importantly, I think it provides you with this map seed in case you want to play this map again or share it with somebody. Next, you can pause the game, unpause the game. You can control your speed if you want to go really slowly. And I think this is important between the pause and slow speed because there's a lot of information here, and sometimes you want to think before you plan your next. Sorry, you want to think as you're planning your next move, and you need to pause the game or slow it down so that not too much time goes by as you're thinking. So, yeah, this slows it. Oh, wait, I just learned something new. Slowing down, you can actually also pause the game. I thought it was just this button, but yep, learn something new, and you can speed it up. 10 speed is the top speed. The other thing you have is your silver coins. Your silver coins can be used to purchase items. It can be used to help you with your trade, and it can be used for edicts as well, which we will get to shortly. For me, this is the most complicated part of the game. What I mean by that is I really don't understand this, but I will share what I do understand. Fertility rate is the percentage as at which your adults will be fertile and thus reproduce, which will allow you to grow your town. Now, this is affected by the level of stress your people are going through, the level of happiness, and their health. So, when those last two are high, they will also increase your fertility rate. If your stress is high, it will decrease your fertility rate. And as you can see, there are other things that will affect your fertility rate. But this is important because this is what will help you to grow your city. If there are no births in your city, people just get old and die, and um, you lose population, lose workers, and your city, sorry, I keep saying city, your town will die. Next up is pretty much the division of your population, adults, students, and kids. So if I click on here, right now, as this is a new town, I have, what's it telling me? Out of my population of 89 people, 69 of them are fertile. I do not have any students in school. I have 6 children and 5 adults. Now, in an earlier game that I played, and this is why I have to figure this calculation out, I've been flatlining between 800 and 1100, and the stats are the same at these percentages. And actually, I have a higher um, percentage of children, but very, very low percentage of old people, as if people are not aging or maybe dying young. That's probably what's happening. I just thought of that. And yeah, my population cannot seem to grow, even though I have a good fertility rate. Anyways, that's a discussion for another time. The next thing we have here is your laborers. So when you have laborers, basically what it means is when I'm looking at this right now, I have 36 people. They're not doing anything. Well, they're doing things, but they're not assigned to a specific task. And we're going to see later how we can assign them to different tasks. So as discussed, now we're moving into happiness. As you can see from the menu, the greater the happiness, the more efficient your workers are. And as we saw, it affects your fertility rate. Next up is the health. Don't worry, we'll get to this. The next is your health. The health, once again, it affects your fertility rate. And the higher your health, the better your stamina. And you really want that because, again, it helps your city to grow and it allows your people to be more fertile. Now we come into the time. Right now we're in March, so we're going into spring, and it's the ninth year that the city, since the settlers have settled into this town. You have your temperature gauge, which is important because sometimes you need to know if you need warmer clothes or to set up your boilers or to get some heating for your townspeople because they can freeze to death. It's something you want to try to avoid. And what we have here, first of all, it shows you what season you're in and what season you're going into. So as you can see, we are going into spring. And going into spring, it seems that we're going to have a merchant ship that is going to arrive. Your merchant ship will allow you to sell items. Well, not sell. You can trade your resources, and you can buy. What I mean by that is you can use money to buy. However, you cannot use resources to get money with your merchant ships. You can only do that when you're trading. Um, but we'll get to that in a bit. And what you see here is right at the beginning of autumn. See the colors, they're telling you what seasons are coming. You're going to get immigrants. This is another way to help build your town, to help your town to grow. The caveat is sometimes immigrant may come with a disease, as you see in the message, what they're explaining. So you need to make sure that your hospitals are equipped to manage it, or once they arrive, if somebody does have a disease, that you isolate them and banish them from your city. It will affect your happiness, but it's better than everybody dying. Oh, it's getting warmer. Next up is we have these menus here. So we're going to get to the town details last. However, let's cover some of the other ones. Factions. So your factions, these are different people you can trade with. When you trade with them, you can sell them things to get money. The other thing that you do, the more you trade with them, the more your reputation level goes. The higher your reputation level, the more you can get other things such as the Great Palace, which will allow you to pronounce edicts. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you want to try to get to. Great Castle, that allows you to house a lot of people within there. This is good for education. And Great Temple, I can't remember what that was for. The chicken itza, that will allow you to bury people limitlessly. So different things, different factions, different things. It's very advantageous. Also, they do charge and buy at different prices and rates, so it's good to pay attention. See, immigrants coming, you need a town hall to be able to accept them. Um, and once they arrive, see, I can click there. It brings me to my town hall, and I can choose to accept them, which I will. And we'll see how many of them are carrying some sort of illness. Now, normally I would need to build homes, but we're not doing that. We're just going through the menu. So it just means people will not have as much stamina and energy to work because they do not have a place to go and rest. So you need to make sure you have homes for everybody. The next thing we're going to look at is your policy. Policy is just a different way you can, not different ways, rules that you can set up to run your city. One policy I like to use that is not available to, oh yeah, it is available to me right now, is, for example, immigration policy. You know what? I accept all. Oh, if I want to change, it's going to cost me money. All right. So right now, I can receive all immigrants as they come in. I do not have to do the process I showed you earlier where I accepted them. It just does that automatically for me. The other thing that you have is edict, which we do not have access to because we need to build a palace of justice. That palace of justice is in town technology, and I can build a palace. I'm not sure if it's the same palace, but I think so when I'm working with factions. The other option is the map, where I can go across the map, see the different items that I have. Ooh, I just saw something cool. Oh, I can get some wood here. So if I click on this, okay, well, first, you'll get different events while you play. You can decide what you want to do with these events. Books are good, so I'll buy them. I have enough silver coins. But then you have events like this tree. So I click on this tree. What do I want to do? Transplant it somewhere else. But I need 100. I need 10 iron tool, which I do not think I have, but I could go check, but I'm not going to. Or I can cut it down for timber, which is something very important that I do need. Anyways, back to the game. So we saw the map. let's go to the town details. The town details are very important. Admittedly, I don't use all of them, but the ones that they do, sorry, the tabs that I do use is the town overview. The town overview shows me basically where are all my people and what are they doing. I can add people to different areas, like I can have a maximum of 7 farmers, so I maximize. Herdsmen, I can maximize that too because I have laborers that are not really assigned to anything. I can find them by clicking on the location. It brings me to that person, and there's a menu for each person where you can monitor how they're doing. You can even see from their perspective and follow them around the city, which I think is pretty cool. All right, let's close this. Let's get back here. And you have on the left hand side some stats regarding the people in your city. Sorry, I said city again. It's a town. It's a town. I apologize. The other thing you can do is you can do that through structures. Look at the different structures you have. You can go to said structure. As you see, I just went to a field. I can see, all right, on this field I had 4 people. I don't know if you remember. And when I was in the town overview, I can only have a maximum of 7. That's because I need to open more spaces, more positions. So if I do this, now I've just opened up 2 more positions and I can add 2 more people to my farm. And it's the same for most of the buildings here. So those are the two that I use the most. Next up is the production graph. I'll be honest with you, I don't use it, but I'm pretty sure that it is there to help you manage your production, to look at your stats and see how much you have in stock, how much is being used, how much is being produced, and year to year, your ratio. Stock management. I just learned that this allows you to A, put some in reserve so that you do not use it up that you may need for later use. I guess you could rotate your crops that way, as well as which ones to use first through a priority level. I think the smaller the number, the higher the priority, which makes sense. Population graph, I do not use this very often, but it's a graph over time that shows you the fluctuations of different items as well as your population. And lastly, this one I do use is your collection. So these are the crops that I can grow. As I collect seeds, this will populate and allow me to know what crops I have access to. It's the same for the animals. It allows me to know which animals I have access to, which will allow me to know what I can grow, what I can produce. For example, one of the most important animals to have at the beginning of the game is an alpaca because it allows you to grow alpaca wool, which allows you to have clothes for your um, villagers, your townspeople, because they do freeze in the winter and they do not like being naked. Very important. So the last item here, there's also the menu. So you can play around with your game settings and close the game. But there's also this that I discovered, which is the help. I'll be honest with you, I have not read it yet. I probably should. It'll help me understand the game better. It does talk about the fertility rate and the stress, but it's pretty much what I reiterated earlier. Um, but like many people, I'm one of those, I don't read instructions. I just like to play the game and figure it out as I go along. Now we're going to the bottom half here. Yes, don't worry, we're going to get back here. We will. This will be the last thing we look at. So down here, it tells me what's going on with my town. Right now, I have 2 citizens that are injured. We spoke about the immigrants needing home. It's telling me that right here. I have a new tech point, which is very useful. And it's telling me that 40 of my citizens want new houses. So not only do the new people want new houses, what ends up happening is, oh, I need this guy. If I say hello back, he does something for me. I can't remember what it is. Oh, maybe not. In previous games, oh yeah, there it is. Agriculture will be increased by 50% for the next 8 months. So when you see that 40 citizens want new houses, does it mean that 40 citizens are homeless? No. As people, as time goes by, people have children, these children grow up, they want to have kids, and therefore want new houses. That's where that comes from. I just learned that from another video that I was watching. Somebody explained that very nicely. Thank you. I wish I remembered the name. I'm going to have to start writing names down so I can give them shout outs. Anyways, we continue. This is kind of like a live ticker feed of what is going on in your city. Now we get to the menu down here. Basically, and sorry if I'm doing the overview too quickly, but is to find items that and structures that you want to put into your city. I usually just use the search function because I'm still new and there's a lot of things I'm not sure exactly where to find them right away, and I am impatient, so I just use the search function and I type out what I am trying to find, like a gatherer's hut, to get medicinals and whatnot. And once I click on it, then I can place it, and voila, and my builders will go and build it. So now we come to the last item, the technology, the town technology. Now, this is important. The reason why I left this for last because it's pretty intricate. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but the idea is this will allow you to upgrade and to access different items in your town. Now, as you saw earlier, we got some tech points. Right now, there's a total of six because the game is new and I haven't used much, but you will notice that the tech points become very, very precious. So you really have to plan ahead before you use them. The reason why I say plan ahead is because a lot of items are interrelated. You will find that you will be stuck trying to use an item that you have activated because, for example, in order to build a hospital, I need steel. If I don't have access to steel and luxury bedding, then it'll be a long time before that hospital is actually working and built. So, um, for luxury bedding, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure where it is, but it's somewhere in here that you can get access to luxury bedding. I think it's here actually. Um, Other things that you can do is, for example, science, properly upgrading and managing this will help you to get tech points faster. The more education that you have, the better chances of getting tech points and moving through the game quickly. I always buy books, they're very important. There's trade, how you trade, how many times you can trade. And what I mean by that is with a large trading post, right now you start off with the small trading post, but with the large trading post, you can have more caravans. More caravans allow you to trade more often, and even the speed, how long it takes for the caravan to go and come back. Insurance, basically, you don't want your caravan to get attacked. And if that does happen, however, you have insurance to cover what you've lost, etc. Mining for materials that you need for building and creating other things. And there's more and more. Like you just saw, warehouses are full. I think it's in no, it's not. Logistics. See, I can activate and build larger storage areas. People moving through the city, I can make them move faster for deliveries and whatnot. So, as you can see, this is pretty intricate. It's good to know what you have access to, what you need, depending on the trajectory that you are trying to build your city. I mean, town. I said it again. Sorry. And I think that about covers everything that we want to talk about when it comes to settlement survival. Um, you know what? We can dig into these little icons here. Right now, what this is telling me, this yellow icon, is that I've maximized my production limit. If I just add a zero here, boom, I'm good. It'll start producing more. This tells me that my inventory limit has been reached. It will tell you if you're missing items for production. So, for example, let me find a good example. For my tailor, if I ran out of alpaca wood, I keep messing the pronunciation of that. Anyway, if I run out of this, I'm going to get like an exclamation mark, which will tell me I'm out of resources. If there is nobody working somewhere like this, see, I get an exclamation mark telling me, hey, you need people to work there. I'm trying to think of other icons that you will get, but those are the main ones you want to watch out for to make sure that you have repair houses so that people are repairing these things because they do fall out of, fall into disrepair. I'm trying to think of other things to think about when you're looking at this. What I like, it tells you, okay, I have 4 out of 5 jobs filled. I can add more positions to be filled by doing this. I'm just clicking. And now see it's 4 out of 10. I want to add people because I have 34 laborers. Boom. Whoops, I just clicked on somebody, so they're following that person. Go back here. See, I'm adding. And it's showing me. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, these green icons. So pay attention to this because it will help you decide where you want to put different structures. Example, if I put a quarry here, um, more chances of getting gold. Here is jade. I actually like jade because you can make jade statues that you can sell for a hefty sum. So, something to keep in mind. And for real now, that is it. That covers much of the menu. Might have missed a few things, for that I apologize. Hopefully, you liked this video. If you do, hit the like. If you didn't, that's fine. Hopefully, there will be another video that you will like, and we will get into the gameplay. So, have a good one. Take care. Peace.